Hola, hola, mis amores, y bienvenidos de nuevo a mi canal Everyday Español. Soy Madison, and I'm so excited you've joined us for today's lesson on verbs like gustar. The verb or the structure me gusta is one of the very first things you learn when you're learning the Spanish language. But we also know that it doesn't follow the typical verb conjugation pattern that you also learn when you first start learning Spanish. So this structure is relatively easy, but there are also so many other verbs that follow this exact same structural pattern. So today's lesson is going to be diving into verbs that are like gustar. Before getting too far into today's lesson, make sure you download that Unacademy app so you guys have quick hitter lessons right at your fingertips. Let's start with the verb gustar itself. In Spanish, there's no real verb that actually means to like. You're like, wait, I thought that was gustar. Gustar literally translates to please, or it's pleasing. So for example, when you say me gusta el libro, you're saying the book is pleasing to me, which I know it sounds weird in our English brain, but basically, I like the book. If you wanted to ask someone, te gusta el libro, you're actually asking them, is the book pleasing to you? Now, the verb gustar isn't alone. It has so many friends that are just like it when talking about the Spanish language. Today, we're going to follow 15 verbs that follow the exact same pattern as gustar. The first verb to follow, just like gustar, is encantar, which means to love. Me encanta esta canción. ¿Te encanta esta canción? I love this song versus do you love this song? The second verb is importar, to matter. No me importan lo que digan. It doesn't matter to me what they say. Or, ¿te importa si abro la ventana? Does it matter to you if I open the window? Número 3, interesar, to interest. Me interesa la historia. The story is interesting to me. Or, ¿te interesa aprender español? Does it interest you in learning some Spanish? The next verb that is like gustar is molestar, to bother. Me molesta el ruido. The sound bothers me. Or, ¿te molesta si hablo por teléfono? Does it bother you if I talk on phone? Número 5, quedar, to remain or to fit. Me queda una entrada para el concierto. There is one ticket that remains for the concert. Or, ¿cómo te queda la camisa? How does the shirt fit you? Número 6, costar, to cost. Me cuesta entender la lección. It's difficult for me to understand the lesson. Or, it costs me a lot to understand. Like, it's consuming on my brain to understand the lesson. And then we have, ¿cuánto te cuesta la renta? ¿Cuánto te cuesta la renta? How much does rent cost you? Número 7, parecer, to seem. Me parece una buena idea. It seems like a good idea to me. Or, ¿te parece justo? Does it seem fair to you? Let's take a quick pause on the verbs like gustar and hop onto the Unacademy app. Okay, it says translate the sentence. My mother has a pair of old boots. Mi madre tiene unas botas viejas. Botas nuevas, vestido nuevo, pantalón viejo, camisa vieja. Is the sweater old or new? El suéter es viejo o nuevo? Complete the sentence. 2 pictures of shirts. El suéter es... El suéter es viejo y la camisa es nueva. Translate. My green sweater is new and my white dress is old. Mi suéter verde es nuevo y mi vestido blanco es viejo. Look at that, you just helped me complete my streak for the day. Número 8, faltar, to lack or to miss. Me falta tiempo. I'm lacking time. Or, te falta algo. Are you missing something? Número 9, aburrir, to bore. Me aburre leer libros largos. Kind of a mouthful on that one. Me aburre leer libros largos. Te aburre la clase? Is the class boring to you? Número 10, preocupar, to worry. Me preocupa el examen. I'm worried about the exam. Or, ¿te preocupa el futuro? ¿Te preocupa el futuro? Does the future worry you? 11, permitir, to allow. No me permite entrar. They're not allowing me to enter. I'm not allowed to enter. ¿Te permite salir antes? Does it let you leave early? Is it allowing you to leave early? 12, doler, to hurt. Ay, me duele la cabeza. I have a headache. Or literally, my head is hurting me. Or, te duele la espalda. Is your back hurting you? Or does your back hurt? 13, fascinar, to fascinate. Me fascina la ciencia. I'm fascinated by science. ¿Te fascinan las estrellas? Are the stars fascinating to you? As you can see in this one, and I feel like this is probably the first one of the examples, you say te fascinan, the A-N at the end, because the thing following the fascination is plural, las estrellas. So remember, that's how verbs like Gustar work. So just as a quick reminder, número 14, tocar, to be responsible for or to take a turn. And you might be like, whoa, profe, I thought tocar meant like to touch or to play like an instrument. Yes, that as well. But it's like the verb gustar when it's talking about to take responsibility for something or to take turn. Let's look at a couple examples. Me toca lavar los platos hoy. It's my turn to wash the dishes today. And te toca a ti. It's your turn. And finally, número 15, picar, to itch or to be spicy. Very two different definitions, but both can mean either one. Ay, me pica la nariz. Me pica la nariz. My nose is itchy. Or te pica la salsa. Is the salsa spicy for you? Before we wrap up today's lesson, let's go over the most common conjugations of this verb, or common structures, or the common ways in which you will see these verbs. Starting with gustar, me gusta, te gusta, y le gusta. These three are by far the most common that you will see. But we can't forget about those other ones, but we're going to focus on those three because they are the most common. That exact same pattern applies to all of the verbs that we just discussed. So for example, me encanta, I love it. Te interesa, it's interesting to you? Or does it interest you? Or le molesta, it bothers him or her. Don't forget those indirect object pronouns, the me, te, le, are absolutely needed for these to work like the verb gustar. Now, let me leave you with one bonus tip for today. While verbs like gustar often follow this pattern, there are sometimes little nuances to help express personal things or nuances in the language. If you want to say, I like you in a romantic sense, okay, you would say, me gustas. Me gustas.
Me gusta la canela, me gustas tú. Me gusta el fuego, me gustas tú. Me gusta menea.
So practice these verbs and you will see your Spanish sounding more natural in no time. So what are you guys waiting for? If you guys found this video helpful and you want to be part of nuestra comunidad, hit that notification button so you never miss a video with me. Subscribe, share it with your friends, comment, do all of the things. I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. Adios!